Hello, everybody. As if 10 days in a row wasn't enough, here I am back for more Clash Royale competitive GKR Leagues Week 2. And as you can see, we've had some standout players so far. No big surprises that the man who just put up a 100% win rate on 3 different accounts in our new Mega Draft ranked mode has a 100% win rate. Big surprises here. Today's matches kick off with Rising Sun Esports against Shock-13. And a reminder, the format for this competition, a little out there, but definitely a whole lot of fun. Set number 1 is 3v3 best of 1. Grieco versus Tyton, Reiki Jones versus Pedro, and then Tob versus Betfas. And this set does have up to 4 bans. Up to 2 units banned from each side, 1 spell banned from each side, and 1 building. So you can see a whole lot of stuff banned between these two teams. RG out, the newly buffed or reworked Rascals, gone. No Lava Hound, no Fish Boy, no NATO. Rising Sun opting not to have a spell ban. And look at that. The X-Bow and Pump both gone. Set number 1 starting up here very, very soon. In our first split of 4 splits in the GKR League, $7,000 on the line for this one. And here we go, jumping right into game number 1. Let's go ahead and do it. Grieco, left side of your screen, Tyton on the right, and wow, that gameplay is very loud. Give me a second, folks, to bring down the... Is the gameplay loud for you or just for me? Because for me, the gameplay is crazy loud. Let me know, folks, if the gameplay is really loud for you, because it is insane for me. Give me 1 second to fix this on my end somehow. One moment, folks. The gameplay is so loud, it's actually blowing my ears out. Low for you, and it's almost painful for me. And I don't know why. Like, that Phoenix sounded like an actual drop of fire. What changed in my settings that made this so crazy? Give me a second, folks. I have an idea. Oh, that's so much better. Way better. Turn down your hearing, says Andy Volton. Smart call. Well, Tyton turning down the Tower of Lentils, formerly known as Grieco, formerly known as Miku, formerly known as... We have to give him a symbol. Can you guys hear the gameplay now? Is the gameplay now audible? Something that I didn't change any settings, but somehow these settings are different. So please let me know if you can hear it now. Yes, gameplay level is good. Who was the guy who was 3 times 100% on ladder? Who do you think it was? Acting like that's a question. And GG, well played. Game number 1. And that one goes to Tyton and Shock-13 And here we are. Hey, how are you, everybody? Oh, I have the weird light on that makes my hair look red. There we go. Hold on. Boom. What's happening, everybody? How the heck are you? Who's excited for a very fun day? And, man, I know that I am super happy. You guys can see that I'm going to turn the sub count off now because I don't need it anymore. We're at over 100,000. Let's go. Molite wins all, says Andy Volton. The brightest guy in the game, Light Bulb himself. Yes, sir. Game Saver says the game sound is now perfect. Well, excellent. Yeah, I need to figure out the sound stuff on the back end of mine because my sound kind of is crazy. Hey, everybody. Did you miss me for a couple of days? We had 10 days in a row of Clash Royale, and then I took a couple days off, and now here we're back with GKR Leagues. And wasting no time, let's just go right ahead and get back into gameplay. As Reiki Jones coming out. They somehow found a picture of him not smiling. Usually he's the most smiley guy in all of Clash Royale. But somehow they found a picture of him looking grumpy. We are in our first set, the 3v3 best of one. Set number 2 is a dual mode matchup, 1v1. And set number 3 is King of the Hill. Bans are not active for dual mode. They are active if we go to set number 3. Why is the game not English? Because I am not the one. I'm not the one broadcasting it. Wow, for some reason, I had to reset my OBS, and all of my sound settings are wrong. It's very strange. Again, let me know if the gameplay audio is at a good level or not now, because it's all crazy. Is that the same Pedro? Like, doesn't Pedro look different in this photo than the other photo that we have of him? This is the same Pedro, who's been in the other leagues as well. And I swear, every picture I see of Pedro, he looks like a different human being. Not a lot of shifting in the... Not a lot of shifting in the meta yet. Give me 1 second, folks. Handling something. Random Slav giving a little love here on the crats. Congrats on 100K. Sorry for the little bit of distraction, folks. A couple of things having to handle all at the same time. Is there even a meta when Mega Draft is the main game mode? I mean, yes and no. There's a Mega Draft meta, that's for sure. There are definitely things you should be doing in Mega Draft. For the rest of the game, I mean, we have some pretty good meta information from the previous month. A couple different balance changes. I think we'll likely see pros in grand challenges a lot more as they try to work out what the best decks right now are going to be. Wall breakers do not connect. Reiki still putting a ton of work on that left-hand side. Defensive miner, offensive miner the opposite direction. Bomb tower now trying to hold. Pedro doing everything to stay up, but cannot stay up. GG, well played. We're going to game 3, folks. And do I need 7,500 trophy to join an esports team? I mean, it depends on the esports team, right? There are all different levels of esports teams. So it depends on what kind of esports team you believe like you're trying to be on, right? Some of these teams, 7,500 trophies is an irrelevant conversation because trophies have nothing to do really with competitive, right? They don't even really indicate skill level at 7,500 trophies. 7,500, I would say, is like a prerequisite to even not being a noob at this point when it comes to being able to play in competitive. But, you know, there are all different sorts of esports teams. So it just depends on what you mean by that question. Florin saying, how do you celebrate 100K? Dare I say disc golf? Yes. Yes, you dare. And I shot the worst round I have shot. I was just so wiped and I was so exhausted. I shot the worst round that I've shot in months. It was terrible. It was neon disastrous, the round of disc golf that I shot. Let's see. Yeah, Reiki does play ACL Asia a few years ago. Yes, he did. Little look at what we're doing today, by the way, folks. Just the whole picture on the day, or the whole picture on today and tomorrow. Week 2 matches. Rising Sun Esports against Shock-13, our first matchup. Then later, after this one, TitanStars against French Swat. Then tomorrow, Strangers against BCN Pro Teams. And then, of course, the league favorites, CALALAS against OLIMPO squad. And I see, we're talking about how do you prepare for this weekend, for example, with, let's go ahead and jump into our gameplay. Ta versus Betfas to decide this set. I think that a lot of people will be using some of these modes. I mean, this one obviously has so many bans, so it's impossible to find a real meta here. But some of these outside of CRL competitions, and then also, of course, I think Grand Challenges a bit. So looking like minor MK Prince for Betfas. And if this is the Giant Skeleton Graveyard deck from Ta, he's in a good place. Instead, it's Giant Graveyard, I guess? Interesting choice here, and I'm curious about how this shakes out, because obviously the Giant Skeleton is so much better at winning the bridge fights. But a little extra cycle maybe for some of these graveyards that will be difficult for Betfas to control. I think Ta, decides to shut that one down. Wondering if maybe he might try to preserve the Elixir lead and just take that first chunk of damage, decides instead to keep it off his tower. Graveyard in, and except for the snowball, there's no really great way for Ta to deal with these Inferno Dragons. And even then, that's not great. I'm going to have to try to do like try to put some minions around whatever's tanking for these graveyards. And now lots of pressure. 2 lanes. Wallbreakers to the right. No spell available. So he eats a big double connection on the right-hand side. And now, there you go. Did the redirect get it off the Giant? No, it didn't. Giant will get a couple of shots, though. Just gets the 1. Still, 1930. Good damage. About 250 separating these two as we go into sudden death. And Betfas defending these graveyards just by loading up with troops. Lead does go the other way. That graveyard has no response to it. Iwa is coming in very, very late, and that's GG well played. Nicely done by Ta. So opting to go Graveyard Giant rather than the Giant Skelly Graveyard. And getting the nice win here. Set number 2. Dual mode. Pandora versus Sub. No repeated cards. Should be fun. Let's take a look at the chat here. Reggie Rowland saying, hey, Steven, there's a page on the official CR Discord just for esports recruitment. They post prereqs in their descriptions. Top 1,000 ladders are prereq to get into most monthly qualifier for Worlds. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, esports team is very different than just competing. CRL, if you want to be in CRL specifically, that's just solo. Go ahead, hit top 100, top 1,000 on ladder, on ranked. You know, just go ahead and do that real quick. I guess we're not into game yet. I thought we were. Yeah, just go ahead and hit top 1,000 on ranked and you're into CRL. But yes, there's many other ways to get involved in lower level, smaller esports teams, esports clubs. But most of them are going to want to see you at a high level. Why is the sound is all goofy today? Vanguards, yes sir. Rich Slayton's live. That's right, live today and tomorrow with GKR Week 2. $7,000 for this first split. When is gameplay starting? When it starts. Jake to Cake. We just finished our first set. They're preparing for set number 2. Is this new tournament like the first time ever? No, GKR's done. They've done GKR before. This is the first time I'm streaming it. So, you know, they made a good schedule this year that goes for quite a long time, and I decided to jump on board for this year, which is pretty fun. It's a nice little midweek tournament we get to stream here pretty consistently. Is Queso Cup over? No, just the group stage. The playoffs for the first split will be April 22nd and 23rd. Boba is really interested in this 3 games for MK decks. Yeah, well, based on the bans that Mega Knight certainly got some good value. And that Mega Knight Wallbreakers deck is so popular right now. Is Molite playing today? Yes, he is in our... Right? Isn't he playing? No, is he playing tomorrow? Molite's playing tomorrow, not today. There you go. So there you have it. Again, here's the schedule for today and tomorrow. And our second match tomorrow is going to be Shot CALALAS. Do I think country tournaments will ever come back? Maybe. I really don't know. Man, why is I need to figure out why the clean feed comes into my headphones so loudly. Can you explain what your title means? I have no idea what GKR or WD40 means. WD40, that's really funny. Well, GKR is this tournament. I don't even know what GKR stands for, but this tournament is called GKR. You see the logo there on the top right of the screen. Week 2, day 1 is W2D1. And that's this common esports designation. So this is the spring. There are 4 seasons or 4 splits for this 2023 year in the GKR leagues. And this is the first one, the spring split, and we are on week 2, day 1. Is Team Liquid still top tier? Team Liquid does not field any teams in Clash Royale. I saw Canario just announced he's leaving Liquid. He's just been a content creator, though. Surgical Goblin is playing as a part of Team Queso in the Queso Cup. Sub did not like that. That was a great King Tower activation there by Pandora. You know, when you play Magic Archer, you don't typically assume you're going to give up King Tower activations. There's 2 primary ways for that to happen. One of them we just saw there with the Fisherman. Another one is NATO to line it up with a troop on your side. Royal Giant down. No defensive drill. NATO's everything back. Instead, goes for Mini P.E.K.K.A. We've seen a lot more Mini P.E.K.K.A. in the last couple of weeks, and I wonder if maybe people are rediscovering Mini P.E.K.K.A. Or 2 spirits for the King Tower. King Tower. Yeah, you can also walk it to the middle. You can walk it inside and do that one as well. That's right. That's one of the harder ones, though. I'd say the more common ones are the NATO one and the Fisherman one. Sub really struggled in that defense. He never saw drill defensive. Zappies were not able to get involved. Wasn't able to distract the Fish Boys. Is that music just going the whole time? Like, the music's at a weird volume? What is happening? Why is the music set to minus 32 decibels? That's craziness. Sub lost because he didn't subscribe to Rich. That's probably right. Yeah, I don't know what happened. So I opened up my OBS today to stream this event, and when I tried to hit start streaming, it gave me big error messages. So I closed OBS, opened it up again, and I opened it up again, and all my sound is weird. Sound, people don't know this about production. Sound is actually possibly the hardest, most annoying part about production. Like, it's really, really complicated, and even something as low lift production as this with OBS is really annoying. Did I open the pink box? I did. Favorite movie genre? Sci-fi. Firecracker most hated card? Definitely not that high on the list. Let's go ahead and jump into our second set here, folks. What was in it? I'll show you in a minute. Smurf Blade with a lot, but good point. I did get the batteries to work for the gooder thing. And I think Sub is going to MK here. So this MK Miner Prince deck, still popular. It's daytime right now. What do you mean? Ewiz just makes this such an annoying situation for Pandora. Because when he wants to try to use, when this Mega Knight does eventually come down, he wants to try to use that Mighty Miner on it. But then Ewiz. Good kite here against the Prince, but the wall breaker runs, and that's going to be a problem for Pandora. Has to come back out with the second set of Goblins. Big spend done. Miner goes on defense. And so here we go. Sub sets up. He happily sets up into the Mighty Miner because he knows he can just Ewiz it, and Mighty Miner's going to do nothing here. And Bandit almost gets the tankage in there. Bomb tower response by Pandora shuts things down. If you're Pandora, you really wanted to have more of a lead by this point. And can he block the E-Wiz? Yes. Oh, no. Just a little bit late. Prince gets picked up by the Miner. But again, just the amount you have to spend on defense against this deck. And Sub just keeping the pressure on. Miner goes to the Muskie. E-Wiz comes out and puts the pressure on that mighty Miner. Pandora has a slight lead. But the question is, can he hold that lead in triple? He does have Miner Poison. He can do a lot of damage with the Miner Poison cycle. E-Wiz to the right-hand side. Wall breaker's not going to get through here. Lead for Sub, 35 seconds left. Bandit has to come out to work. Are there arrows? Yes, there are. And now here we go. Miner goes to the inside spot. Wall breaker's not going to slide through. Maybe one does. Both do. Oh, my word. How did that even happen? And that's this deck here, folks. The pressure it puts on is tremendous. It's like you're at the bottom of the ocean and you're watching the glass on your suit crack. GG, well played. Game number 3 on its way. All right, let me go ahead and answer some questions in the chat while we're waiting for game number 3. Let me put the music back on. Man, the whole system failed. Is this my full-time job? Be a full-time YouTuber. So I'll give you kind of the history. I started casting Clash Royale in 2018, and that year the league was a lot bigger then. So CRL full-time that year, and then I would do some content creation on the side, still doing stand-up at the time there. In 2020, I started working as director of production for AMG. Aftershock Media Group, and I did that for the last couple of years. And then now, this year in 2023, I'm doing casting for CRL still, which is so much fun. I'm doing YouTubing content creation, and I'm also doing some social media management as well in esports. So all of it's gaming esports related. So yeah, probably about like casting and YouTubing is like 60% of my income. The social media stuff's like 40%, something like that. There you go. Hello, Mr. 100K. Hey, Sandy, how are you? No extremes today. I think you should wear those orange ones. The extremes are wild. Yeah. Oh yeah. So those of you wanted to see what was in the box, this is what was in the box. Let's go ahead and wait. We'll wait to put them on. These are, but yes, these. And these were in the box. These are extra. These are a little extra. You know what I mean? Can I line it up correctly? These are a little extra. But that's what was in the box. There's this one too. There was one more somewhere. But there you go. And aspiring pro disc golfer. Never gonna happen. I'm not that good. Here we go. Game number 3. Let me go ahead and open up the, I realize I need to open up the Royale API here and follow this. can follow the decks. Some people just have tremendous memories where they just remember everything they've seen. I'm not one of those people. Nice pick by Pandora here in the third game. NATO out, MK out, U is out. Sub being smart. Need something for the hog. Fishboy's not perfect. Fishboy Hunter is sufficient, though. You see that right there. This is not the CRL monthly final. This is GKR Leagues, as the title says. And this DPS-focused approach is going to give up a lot of damage to sub. Pandora falls way behind now. He needs to take advantage of this opportunity, but can't. And Archer Queen's directly into a Monk, whose reflection will shut that down. Sub's got this pretty well locked up. You know, you're really, for Pandora, you were really hoping that there was going to be a hog behind some of this Fishboy distraction. Right now that Hunter is on that, on the left-hand side, can you find a way to hog opposite lane and distract the fisherman at the same time? And this Monk is just shutting down this Archer Queen. It's hard because Pandora really, went for the prediction and threw the snowball just a little bit early. King Tower activation in, 1590 to 2231. Sub has this really, really in a good spot. Pandora does get the ability off, but the bird picks up. No breaking through, although Pandora has a little elixir advantage here. Can he do anything with it, though? I just don't know if he can. And this time, smartly read, Hog does get a hit. Pandora very smartly read there with that snowball. And this is a good opportunity for Pandora to get a couple of shots. Boom, boom. Just like that, Pandora back in the lead. Sub so far ahead, but now that Pandora has the rhythm, and maybe it just seems like his cycle's a little bit better. Now you see Monk going to the opposite lane away from the Archer Queen. Hunter takes care of her, but now look at here we go. Mid-hog. The guards don't pull the Fisherman distraction, unfortunately, for Pandora. Royal Giant trying to break through. Can't do it. 1532, 1161. Second Royal Giant down. Snowball to slow. Can Pandora find another cannon here? And the cannon does not push. 918. EQ log. Not going to do it. Pandora fought that one valiantly. But Sub able to get it in the end. Very well played by Sub. He didn't have a lot of great ways to try to stop the Hog. You know, he didn't have perfect ways. Pandora fought back into it. Let's take a look. This is earlier on from Pandora. You're going to see this really nice King Tower activation from Pandora in the first game of this set. And the cannon just not able to, not correctly done or quickly done enough. Now look at this fisherman right here in the middle. Boom. Beautiful fisherman. The zapping does not come ahead early enough. And nice King Tower activation there for Pandora. Very well. Very well done. Yeah, the cannon just did not do what it needed to do for Pandora to win that last one. Needs to be head on the RG. Yep. Let's see. We're supposed to be at the cannon, but still one in the game. Let's see. The fireball and the ice spirit cost Pandora. Yeah, that was rough. All right, so here we go. Set number 3 is King of the Hill. Reminder, here are the bands. Royal Giant, Rascals, Lava Hound Fisherman, Tornado, Expo, Pump. What a crazy set of bands. It's too many bands. I'm all for interesting band methodologies, but this one is too much. And good question, your Copper Spikes. They have the option to ban, but they don't have to ban. What does GKR stand for is the question. I actually have no idea what GKR stands for. That's a great question. Dirk Greg saying ban should be 1 per team per set. I wouldn't mind it if you were able to ban, make 2 bans, and at most one of those bans was a spell or building. I wouldn't mind that. If each team band had 2 bans, one of them had to be a troop, and the other one could be a troop, spell, or building. I'd be okay with that, with how many cards there are in the game now. This is a little excessive. I haven't played a lot of archers since the balance changes come out, but everything I've seen from pros saying that archers are shockingly a lot worse than they suspected with the slower first attack. And Air Surfer gets arrows on everything. And a good way to handle all the stuff behind. We have 2 matches today to answer Cyber's question. This is our first of 2. And great arrows, Phoenix by Air Surfer. But the problem is that Pedro can just get right behind the arrows with any of the other arrows bait cards. And archers don't do much to protect that mortar. Good damage on the right-hand side now. Ewiz comes out, finally stops the bleeding at 1988 to 2487. It's just so hard for Air Surfer to deal with all the things that can sit on Pedro's side and not take damage. And he's trying to make some choices here. We are in triple. This is the point where Air Surfer's deck begins to overwhelm. I just don't know if it has it in it here. And that's a great placement of the mortar to take the damage from the bandit but not allow a dash. Air Surfer trying to overwhelm in the left-hand lane. Miner goes in. Bandit distracted and just can't put up enough damage. GG, well played. Pedro leads the Shock-13 to a Game 1 win here, taking out Air Surfer. Taking out maybe the most dangerous person on the top 2 most dangerous on the opposing roster. Man, Air Surfer, Kodigo, and Pandora actually is kind of a nasty lineup for King of the Hill. Let's see. Just think when my team comes against Mo, just ban Mo and not a card. Yeah, I feel you on that one. That's for sure. Greg saying it was often an issue that archers already got like 3 hits before arrows are able to come in. So a lot of times it's a basic 33% damage nerve as long as they don't get that shot. Fair enough. Not insignificant. Yeah, team rosters are in the description. Thank you, Sandy. Smart to ban spells. Spells really OP. Yes, but maybe you don't want to ban a spell because you want to use it. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, folks? Someone asked earlier about the silver YouTube play button. I don't remember where I saw that. Someone did ask about that earlier in the YouTube chat. And I have now finally put in the order for it. I have to go through like a channel verification period. And then it'll get sent. Here we go. Pedro just opens up immediate hog. Pedro going to hog bomb tower here. And it's drill for lentils. Nice combo there at the Ice Spirit by Lentils to shut down the hog. And that drill spawns inside of a bomb tower. I see Bavik mentioning that Kamal is Indian. A lot of Indian viewers and fans on this channel all of the time. Glad to see one of their own in the mix. So very similar looks here. Just drill versus hog. And I think that, you know, one of the hardest things about this game overall is when you talk about balance, because everyone focuses on win conditions. It's, you know, especially more casual players focus on win conditions. But really, the bigger issue, in my opinion, is support cards and how this deck, I mean, it's the same deck except for hog versus drill, right? I think maybe a different big spell here for Greco. We'll see. I'm assuming he has a different big spell. It'd be weird for him to have EQ. But when for so many decks, because also Miner Minor Chip ran this essential same collection of cards, depending on the bomb tower, for the border. But when so many decks just run the same 5 to 7 support cards and then swap out win condition, it tells you the problem isn't win condition based, the problem is support card based. Insider, the ban is a special rule that says that players may not play that card during this portion of the tournament, or portion of the competition. This does not tie into CRL at all. You guys, you will always know when it is CRL related. This is not CRL related in the least. Oh, very aggressive fireball. Bomb tower comes out. Very aggressive fireball, and then a huge spend behind. About a 2 elixir advantage right now, maybe 1.5. And now just loading up. Loading up is Pedro. Now the Hogs, the EQ is coming really, really fast, and being just a little bit behind on Elixir as we transition to triple is so rough for Lentils. Because now he can't play any offense. He has to spend and overspend defensively to stop these Hogs. And he still gives up a shot after all of that. After all of that, gives up a shot. Now, Pedro probably didn't need to play that Hog Rider. That Hog Rider just opened the door significantly. Now he's in an EQ cycle. Drill, Fireball, Log. Goblins don't get on. 956 to 830. Bomb Tower should be back in cycle, and it is. Lentils has not yet cycled that drill to the outside rather than the inside. But 753 to 668. Go to the outside here, Lentils. No, goes to the front one more time. Fireball in on the Ice Spear. Log gets in, and that's going to be it. GG, well played. Gets it done. Nice comeback there. Very, very nice comeback. And I think that Hog was extra. I think that Hog's real extra from Pedro. He got himself into a good spot and then threw a Hog into like a Musketeer, a Mighty Miner, Goblins, and an Ice Spirit that were all already on the board. Let's see. No, it is not one ban card per day. In this competition, GKR League is the title of this event. In this competition, each team for a match is allowed to ban 2 troops, 1 spell, and a building in that match. So there you go. I have no idea where Kamal is from. He might be from India. I thought you were saying that he was. Is it just for the player or for both? Because thanks for the response. The bans are global. When you ban a card, nobody can play it on either side. So there you go. They're called global bans. It was amazing how quickly he cycled the Hogs, but he did one too many. So again, back to a very similar setup. Now, Sub is showing a deck construction that tends to have lended itself towards being a Golden Knight deck. But Golden Knight is almost dead now. There's no NATO in this deck, so probably going to be... I don't think he's playing Monk here. Doesn't have any range, so Archer Queen's the most logical champion if he has one. Sub could just be playing a no champion deck and going with Loon. As Smurfblade saying in the chat. There you go. No champion for Sub. And Sub's going to get a ton of damage from that. Tons of damage from that. Wow. Wow, bye-bye building. Not all the way, but pretty darn close. And you see that Lentils just copied the deck from Pedro last game. Sub did not ban Expo. The bans on the left-hand side are the bans that Rising Sun submitted to the entire match. The bans on the right are the bans that Shock-13 submitted to the entire match. That's a good minor snowball here, and that's going to be sufficient to really shut down that push. And you see Lentils just EQs the tower. He knows it's over. GG, well played. Is Loon back? Is Loon back? I saw a question from Everton B4. Any information on Sub? Yeah, Sub's a Brazilian player. He's on the CALALAS roster overall, just not in this. I guess Shock-13 is maybe a CALALAS team. I'm not sure. I need to double check on that, but he's overall with CALALAS in his competitions. 8.5K or 8.4K personal best on ladder in the Legacy ladder phase. Finished with a top 100 finish earlier this year on ranked. I don't know if he has any CRL points. He does. He's currently 51st, tied for 51st on the CRL rankings. So there you go. Is that what that is? Hold on, let me double check. They've actually been doing this kind of weird here. Let me go look at the CRL rankings to make sure that that's what they actually meant. Is he tied for 51st, or is he tied for something higher than that? Ranked currently listed as 51 with 35 points. Sub is tied for 32nd on the CRL rankings. There you go. That's more accurate. Does Rascal's rework make them playable? I think so. Expo doesn't make sense to ban. It doesn't, other than the fact that Betfas is under their team. NATO ban makes Luna threat. True, that's fair. Why were Rascals banned? Maybe because they just got reworked and it's hard to figure out. Can I bet on these matches? Do you? There's no like official methodology for that, you degenerate. Let's see. Why is Golden Knight dead? Apparently the half tile, I was seeing some chat from Lucas. Apparently the half tile change in Golden Knight makes it so that just as much as Golden Knight used to dash like way too far and connect stuff that was seemingly not even close to each other, now the Golden Knight, like, it seems like it can't see its feet down at the bottom of its body. Barbs are underrated. I don't think so. I think they're rated just as they are, which is a sometimes useful but usually not card. Can't believe Phoenix is still viable. Miner's trash. Miner is still very good as a mini tank, but Miner poison control is done, it looks like. Phoenix is still very strong. Where can I see the CRL rankings? Good question. The CRL rankings can be seen on the Royale API website. Here you go. That's where you can see CRL rankings. Barbs are only in some Lava Miner variations with any sort of... Now, No Mitch is pointing out that taking Barbs and Fireball in Mega Draft could be strong. Good point. When is the next CRL stream? There will be CRL streams this weekend for the monthly qualifiers for the Swiss and group stage. I'm going to be out of town, so I won't be streaming those. Probably Juicy J is doing those in English, I'm guessing. And then the next CRL monthly final is 2 weekends from now. No, yeah, not this upcoming weekend, but the weekend after. Whatever that is. April... Hold that note as I figure out what date that is. April 15-16 is the next CRL monthly final official stream. Loon into the right. Bomb tower to control. Man. Hog just getting it done for sub. And that Musketeer just no way to really get to it here. Oh, it walks away from the balloon, though. That's enough force sub to spend a lot more on that defense. And Pandora throws up the white flag. GG, well played. And very nicely done for sub. And that was a really good fight overall. For Shock-13, who now will move to 2-0 in this competition. Rising Sun Esports drops down to 1-1. I don't know if we'll get a visual of the leaderboard, but there you have it. And let's see. Why is Ian77 running that participant in this tournament? They're not on teams that played in it, I guess. I don't believe they're involved on any of the rosters. Let me take a look. Oh, Ian is on BCN Pro Team. So Ian is playing. Riley doesn't play competitive. People ask about Riley in competitions all the time, and Riley just doesn't play competitive. That's not what he does. Maybe he will start doing it, but Riley doesn't join competitive teams, doesn't play CRL really. But Ian is on a team in this league. But yeah, people keep asking about Riley as if like it's weird that he's not in. It's like Riley is like the new Oyasu, right? Like everyone's just like, why isn't this guy who plays the deck that I really love in this competition? It's really funny. Maybe Riley will decide to play competitive eventually, but he doesn't right now. Let's see. Sub played really strong. Yes, correct, he did. Honestly, power move from Sub just to win the matchup. He just dominated in reverse. Yeah. Sub's kind of crazy. What are Sub's socials? He seems like a great contributor. What are Sub's socials? Hold on. Let me see if I can find them. Where are you? Where are you, Sub? Where are you, Sub? Let's see. Where did he go? Let's go here and find him. Because I remember he said he was 51. Here you go. Sub on Twitter. You can find Sub on Twitter here. There you go. There's Sub's Twitter link. People often know it takes so much more time to be a pro player than just one trick. It takes so much more than to be a pro player than just one trick in the ladder. Yeah, that is true. That is very, very true. Let's see. Back to more of the YouTube chat here as we have a couple more minutes until our next matchup. What is the new meta now? Any ideas? Not yet. Thanks for the content. Can I Cash App you and buy you lunch? At Slayton. I don't use Cash App. That's very kind of you. I've never used Cash App. I use Venmo. I've never had someone ask me that before. I'm just at Rich Slayton on Venmo. If you want to send me something, that'd be nice. That's very sweet of you. That's never happened in years of doing this. That's never happened. Igor playing? I don't know, although I've heard he's moved to Kazakhstan. What's the best way for players to get their feet in the door for CRL competitive CR? Well, for CRL, it's very simple. It's very direct. It's not easy, but it's simple. Make top 1,000 on ranked for the end of the season, and you are in CRL. There is no barrier. You don't have to know anybody or get noticed by anybody. If you make top 1,000 on ranked at the end of the season, you are in CRL. So that's just a very direct way. If you go onto the Clash Royale Discord, I think is it an esports Discord or is it a general Clash Royale Discord? You can find teams who are looking for players. So there you go. Do you think that people who take gaming as its career will stop after a while and start to find a real job for a living? That's a really judgmental way to put that, Mohamed. Do you think people who play football for a living will stop and find a real job for a career? Do you think people who sing for a living will stop and find a real job for their career? You know what I mean? It's a very judgmental way of putting that. If you're getting paid, it's a career, right? People often will come in and get toxic in my chat. Like, you're talking about a kid's game. I'm like, yes, I live in a house that I paid for by talking about a phone game. So, you know, okay, here we go. Reggie Rowland. General Clash Royale describes an esports tab. There you go, if you want to find out more. So, yeah, I think that being an esports pro has a shelf life for most people, especially if you don't turn into content creation, because that's where longevity is. Because being an esports pro is really hard to do. Like, it's a grind. But, you know, some of these people will make enough money that they can then do whatever they want later. You know what I mean? Oh, yeah, and DJ Badhand saying, aren't super chats and YouTube way people to donate to you? Yeah. So there you go. Yeah. Do you think people who practice law as a career will stop after a while and get a real job? There you go. So there you go. Let's see. Minor typo. It says, Wallace. Oh, let me go ahead and check that. Fix that minor typo. Thank you very much. Oh, that was, you know what? That M was supposed to be a comma, and the comma is right next to M. Good catch. And then it says Sandbox instead of Sandbox. Well, actually, I did change his name to Sandbox. So there you go. That was actually accurate. That was intentional. Thoughts on Mega Draft exclusive ranked? I like it conceptually. I think that there needs to be a good, a meaningful place for people to be able to play classic game mode, and a meaningful, right? A place that has an impact on how they experience the game, not just like a friendly version of it. And a lot of players have already finished Trophy Road, so I think that's one thing. Needs to be a meaningful way for that to be engaged with. But I also think that the game, like, people have been talking about how the game is stale. It's the same thing. We need a new game mode. We need to do this. This is that. I think that part of the challenge of it is that it's added in at a week. Did you guys hear that cough? Where did that cough come from? I swear I just heard a cough. I think it's from, like, I think it's through the clean feed. Whatever. What was I saying? I think that the timing of this, with how much negative community sentiment there is over things like the past Royale changes and we're getting right into gameplay. I did not think we were ready for gameplay yet. Here we go. All right, set number 1 for this 3v3 matchup between TitanStars and French Swat. The TitanStars lineup: Will, Rainbow, Doodoo, Phoenix, Tourist, and Cruz. And for the other side, French SWAT, Ilion, Z, Hugo, Viper, Paolo, and Paradox. Are there any official criteria to join official teams, and how to join? Teams set their own criteria. There's no, like, official criteria to join official teams, and official. There's actually not even such thing as official teams anymore, right? Like, this is an individual game that sometimes is played with teams. But each team has their own thing. Some teams want you to be more of a content creator. Some teams want you to be just like a good pro. Some teams want you to be a top player in the world. Please have Andrew Guy play with me. We'll do disc golf together. Hey, Damien coming with a $10 super chat. I didn't see that until now. Thank you very much. I've been a little busy. It's nice to see something a little bit different, though, on one side with the pigs. And then here you go. You see Phoenix playing a lot of the same cards. Did Rising Sun win? No, they did not. And this is interesting, that Phoenix going minor control. That's a very good point here. I just don't see is minor control. I think we've figured out that it takes 10 more hits from a miner to kill a tower than it took before. And while the miner might not be intended to be your primary damage method in minor control, like, right, you think about the spell cycle, 10 more hits is a lot. And then you're spending 7 elixir on poison delivery to stop Royal Hogs. And then having to spend more. I mean, could Phoenix win this? Yes. And then I see Lord it making 10 deck cycles at least, right? Well, no, it's not 10 deck cycles, it's 10 hits. So, like, more likely than not, that's considering, like, I wonder how many hits on average a miner gets. It's probably more like 5 or 6 cycles. So it might be, if it's 2 to 4 hits per time, then maybe it's more like 2 hits on average says one person, 2 to 4 says another person, if it connects. So I'd say probably overall, depending on whether it gets between miners being picked up, miners not being picked up, etc. Right, so that miner's going to get 3 hits, maybe 4. Yeah, 4 hits. So I would say 5 extra cycles of miner is probably a fair assessment. The question is, can the poison log be enough? And right now, the poison log's doing a lot. And the cannon not picking up the miner. So Paolo might take the L here. It's very possible. Hog in. That's a lot of spell power spent, but it doesn't matter. Miner doesn't get picked up. Paolo can't get back to Hogs. And the look on Paolo's face is, did I just lose to nerfed Miner? Did I just lose to the nerfed Miner? That's the look on his face right now. All right, so Phoenix first up, then Dudu, then Cruz for TitanStars. Paolo down, Zsar will be next, and then Ilion, a.k.a. Chetty, will be the final player there. Issue for Paolo is no reset. Yeah, you can't reset the miner, right? Is the miner nerf live? Yeah, people are still using them. How are they going to have level 15 when they just capped the cards at level 11? They didn't cap cards at level 11. They just did it for... For this season, they are doing level 11 cap just for ranked. That's not the long-term plan, I believe. Damien, again, just want to flash that out. Thank you so much. That's very, very kind. Let's see. Phoenix got more Dark Prince, got more 2 Dark Prince interactions. Yeah, fair enough. Let's see. Nerf poison, maybe. It's the pigs counter that won the game. Fair. Ready for the box opening. It already happened. This is the box opening right here. This is it. The extremely extreme shades of extremeness. Let me get a little water sip here as we wait for our next game, which I don't know why it's taking so long. One more time to take a look at the lineups for this first set. So next up will be Doodoo versus Z-Star, because this is the first set. It's 3v3 best of 1. So we just saw Phoenix beat Paolo. Doodoo and Z-Star will be next, and then Cruz versus Ilion if necessary. Let's go ahead and get it. Oh, what the heck? All right, let me go ahead and jump into the clan here and figure out what the heck's going on, because that to me looks like someone didn't respond in time to the match, and because of that, they had a forfeited match. That's my guess. I'm going to go jump into the clan and see what I can find out, because that was interesting. Let me see if I can get. Let's see if I'm getting anything from the. Let me see if I can get anything from League Ops. I'm about to jump in right now. It was a free win for Tyton on game 2. Oh, interesting. Let me go in there. All right. So yeah. Oh yeah. I forgot this. The GKR League Ops has been really on point with speed. So TitanStars sent their request out, and French Swat did not accept the match quickly enough. So now we are into they are having some real conversations here. So then here we go into set number 2. It's going to be a dual modes, Will versus Viper. Hold on. We're having there's some interesting questions here. Give me 1 second. I'm trying to figure out what's happening. There's some discussion. Why are they in game? I'm very confused. I'm going to jump into gameplay. So I'm guessing TitanStars gets a 2-0 win in the first set. I guess a player didn't accept fast enough. Very, very strange. So it was... Let me go back and look at some of this so I can really understand what the heck happened, because that whole situation was just strange. Oh, come on, Royal API. Oh. 1 second, folks. As I just try to sort through exactly what just happened here. So Phoenix beat Paolo. And then I guess that the second person for French SWAT didn't accept in time, and they ended up giving the set win to TitanStars. Doing my best to clarify everything here. Mustafa, we opened the pink chest. What do you think these weird glasses are that I'm wearing? Arachel, hi Rich, long-time lurker here. Congrats on 100K. Thank you for community commentary and discussions. Off to accompany my night shifts. Good luck and have fun to their viewers too. Hey, thank you very much. I'm glad I can give you some enjoyment, distraction during those night shifts. What do you think about Firecracker? Kind of underrated. It makes you win matches if you don't have the right counter to it. I think that used to be much more true for Firecracker, and now is a little bit less true than it used to be. Still good, but not as great as it once was. A little surprised by Will using Golden Knight here. Can I create a join option? Join what there, AW? I played this deck a little bit in the last couple days of the season. I think that I saw maybe Mohamed playing it. This mini P.E.K.K.A variation. Like, join what? Like a channel, not subscription, but like a membership option? Golden Knight doesn't matter as much when you have NATO, says Smurfblade. From what I've seen from pros so far, it really, NATO doesn't help that much. The Golden Knight nerf is so impactful. Yeah, I've been putting in some preparation on membership. Actually, I'll follow up with. Oh, I need to make concepts for. Hey, if you have ideas for concepts of emotes for YouTube, let me know your ideas. You can tweet them at me. Oh, Magic Archer gets great value here for Will. Huge value for Will. All right. No building used here for Viper. NATO used by Will. Viper does still have Miner and Hog open. If I'm Will, I'm picking something with a building in game number 2. Just to avoid any problems there. Yeah, I think that there was some confusion there. If Viper had Log or Barb, it would have been a lot more manageable. I'm not sure he had no small spell. Yeah, that was interesting. Yeah, Viper has Hog and Miner open. If I'm on Will's side, I'm definitely running something that has a building in it. Rock 100K shades temporary or the new look? They're temporary. They're just having some fun with these. I mean, these are ridiculous, right? These are ridiculous shades. I have some other ones that are even weirder, I think. There are lots of styles of gooders I just don't usually wear. But yeah, these are something else. Let's go ahead and jump into game number 2. Oh, wait, I thought we were ready. Oh, a little delay between the in-game gameplay and the stream here. Come on, Clean Feed. Give me the good stuff, Clean Feed. There we go. All right, did Will run something with a building in it? Is Viper running Hog? The questions we all want answered. Viper not running Hog. Running Drill, maybe. And maybe expecting that Will would go. Will having NATO out. Maybe Viper expecting that Will would go with something to counter Hog or Miner. And so he goes a Drill here. And, oh, Will going Prince MK. This could be a quick one here, folks. Wall breakers pressure opposite lane. Not a lot of elixir. Viper just eats it. Just eats it and sets up for the opposite lane. And that's so much damage. That's so much damage. Just no answer for that Royal Ghost. And that might be it already. That might be it already. And Viper gonna just set up here and try to defend. And that was not the Mega Knight jump that he wanted. And now here we go. Bandit in. Wall breakers connect onto the Drill. The arrows clean on the left-hand side. Viper needs to be careful here. He's not out of the woods. And I like that Will waited until he had to use the E-Wiz rather than using it early. And he's going to get a couple good shots. Wow. And this is actually really good stuff for Will right now. Viper just not feeling comfortable getting on offense. Wallbreaker's going to get through, and one does connect. And Will still has the elixir lead. And he's going to try to make this his bridge fight, bridge fight, bridge fight. He does not want to give any chance. He doesn't want to give a chance for a Golden Knight dash or a Magic Archer lineup. So he's going to try to defend against the drills just like this, right? Really cheaply on the back. And not give lineup value, not give dash value. Wallbreakers go the opposite way. NATO to stop, and Will just didn't have it there. That was not it for Will. Here we go, game 3. A little surprise there. Gotta admit, a little surprise there. It's rare to see MK at the bridge in single actually get punished in the back end. Good job by Viper. Yep, very well done. The aggressive MKs maybe came back to bite him, but he was also just trying to make sure that the Magic Archer and Golden Knight damage didn't happen. You're saying you think Viper replaces main deck with Electro Spirit? Maybe. Not impossible. I mean, he doesn't have NATO anymore, right? Because he just used NATO. So can't use his main deck anymore. But Hoggy Q, so Viper still has Log. Viper still has Hog. Viper still has Miner. Hoggy Q is still open for Viper. It seems like a really obvious pick for him, which is why I think that Will's going to have something for it. And we're going to go ahead and jump into this here in just 1 second. So let's see what kind of cycle situation. Will's played a lot of hefty stuff. So Will does not have good support cards for anything with any beatdown. So I think he's playing cycle here. That's my guess, is we'll see some cycle play from Will. DJ Badhand. Bans only apply to the first and third set, not to the second, because second is duels, and duels already is effectively a bunch of bans game by game. So we're seeing cycle on both sides. And going to be Hoggy Q from Viper. Look who's watched this Clash Royale thing a little bit, huh? Look who's seen a little bit of Clash Royale here or there. Oh, so it's Royal Hogs, not Hog. Interesting choice there to go with Royal Hogs rather than Hoggus. Mega Knight being out makes Royal Hogs stronger. And this is gonna be really hard for Will. I don't think he has any splash damage in this deck. And you see Will's just not happy right now. Because he just knows how hard it is to break through this, right? Between the Ice Spirit log and the assumption of a building in here. And that's a, I thought the Fisherman would have pulled the Mighty Miner and not the Musketeer. Miscalculation there by Viper. Big miscalculation. That just opened the door. Royal Giant in. Now here's the Mortar to control. Firecracker plus the Monk and the Fisherman all working on that. There's no Fisherman yet, is there? Fisherman gets there and does get there in time for some good Royal Giant damage on the right-hand side. And this whole thing just switched. This whole thing just flipped right over. Mortar, Mighty Miner, Archers. You know, and it's interesting. I'm wondering why he went... Did Viper play Archers earlier? I don't think he did. So I guess with Golden... Usually you play Musketeer instead of Archers to avoid Golden Knight, but Golden Knight's already out. Maybe the Archers nerf putting him off that. And look at this. Will just all over this tower. That Musketeer getting pulled and not the Mighty Miner completely disrupted everything that Viper wanted to do. Viper needs to Mortar here and shut down this RG right now. Pigs in opposite direction. The log will help on the Royal Giant. Shot in. Big shot in. And wow! What a recovery by Viper after nearly throwing. After a near complete throw, Viper with a brilliant recovery to keep this French SWAT team in the mix. Let's go ahead and take a look at the replay from the ending of that one, because this looked like it was just Viper totally dead in the water. Look at this. You see the Fish Boy come in, the Bird get on the tower, Ice Spirit helps save a little bit, but you have the Phoenix pop. Then this RG comes down. You're just looking at this going, hey, this RG's got it. All it needs is a little bit here. But the Mortar just barely gets there. You know it's scary when the Mortar turns the RG, right? Rather than pushes or blocks the RG. And enough gets through. Will knows it. Very, very well played by Viper. Way to stay in it. Way to stay in it. Very intense finished. Yeah, people with the oh my gods, can't believe it. What just happened? That was crazy. Here we go. Final set, King of the Hill. Doodoo, Tourist, and Will for TitanStars. Z, Ileana, and Viper for French Swat. Final set of the day coming your way. Pigs do a steam out of damage, and More got a shot too. So we should get our... Here we go. Game up. Set of the day coming. Rich might start some 8 Mile around here. Might have to throw on the full. Do we go Rap God here? I try not to usually. We'll see what happens. And DJ Badhand with the good point here. Never quit a CR match. Never quit a CR match. Solid point. Oh boy, that's a lot of burn. That's a lot of burn. That's a lot of burn. And wow. Wow. And that much damage and that much elixir advantage, and Z-Star in a lot of trouble early. A lot of trouble early. And Doodoo just putting, I don't know why he's putting the MK on skates here. And that miner should go right to the E-Wiz. Yes, it does. Snowball to separate. The Inferno Dragon doesn't turn. E-Wiz stays up, but Balloon does get a connection. And those wall breakers, does he have arrows? He does, just barely stops him. Z-Star has a legit opportunity here. But that giant skeleton bomb does not do any favors. And the miner just chipping away. And Z-Star is trying to preserve this giant skeleton a little bit longer if he can. Loon in. What does Z do to try to get this on tower? I don't think he does anything. GG, well played. Prince goes opposite direction, that's it. Let's see. Miner got nerfed, but still is played. Shows how versatile it is. Yep. I wonder if Z sending the Miner wall breakers actually hurt him because it gave Z an excuse to... If Doodoo sending that to Inferno, to early Inferno Dragon that was ramping up. Yeah, I agree. Elixir advantage was pretty significant. Let me see. Everyone's still talking about that previous ending. Here we go. Game number 2 going to start here in just a moment. Doodoo versus Ilion. Interesting that that French SWAT doesn't have any bans here. Winwu will play tomorrow Look at the Week 2 schedule. We're at the end of Day 1. Our TitanStars versus French Swat matchup. Tomorrow we're back here again, same time, same place, with Strangers, BCN Pro Teams, and then finally CALALAS versus OLIMPO squad. So those of you who want to see Mo, tune in mañana. And Ilion certainly quite expressive. Those of you who are like, who's Ilion? He was a monthly finalist in our March CRL qualifiers. Top 8. You might know him better as Chetty, FL God. W2D1 going with Valk. Nice pickup for him against these pigs. Bomb Tower Valk against pigs. And opts to Bomb Tower this mortar. I do not like playing at a swivel chair. You see Ilion on a swivel chair moving back and forth. I prefer to play in something more stationary. I don't know, where do you guys like to play? Right? What do you like having a chair that moves? Do you want something really stationary and stable? And full-on miner with the pre-poison from W2D1 here. Goblins will come out, but damage in, and Archer Queen abilities, Ilion forced to spend. 1977 to 2094 in favor of W2D1 right now. And that mortar gets on tower here. Pigs behind. He's going to have to log plus Valk here. And that's a lot of expenditure. Valk is not as good against Royal Hogs as people might think. Yes, it is splash damage, but she's not the Valk of old. She doesn't hit as fast. Still good against pigs, but you're not shutting down pigs with Valkyrie. And now I like this split. Great call on the split here. And you're going to see the tanking on the left from the Mighty Miner. And those pigs get in and get in deep. Tons of damage. And now down to about 1,000 HP, 1,088 for W2D1. Smurfblade pointing out the Valk log is almost a full shutdown. Yeah, it's a -1 trade, but yes. But you can't think about any relationship in a vacuum. Now the bomb tower able to do its job. Minor poisons coming in a lot faster now for W2D1. Pigs down, Valk high, bomb tower high as well. That Valk bomb tower connection does it. Archer Queen to pick up the mortar at the bridge. 25 seconds left. 738 now, poison ticking to 544. EQ getting its damage in. So now we're going to be 382. That miner gets pre-picked up by that Mighty Miner. Huge pickup there by Ilion. Log to the right-hand side plus EQ. Dudu needs to go Miner Poison one more time to have any chance here. Instead, he goblins onto the logs here. The GG, well played, Ilion. Just beat Bomb Tower Valk with Royal Hogs. Good for him. And, you know, we talk about this. That ending was actually kind of close here, right? It wasn't that far apart. And we talk about the difference in miner hits. And one of the big things I saw a lot of pros say is that one of the big differences is you're going to lose a lot of matchups you would have won closely. And that miner probably could have gotten over the course of that. Let me take a look here for a second what the final damage difference was. The final damage difference here is, give me 1 second, as the clock counts all the way down. Poison comes in. So final damage difference is 232, right? 232 is that final damage difference, right? And what, Miner was nerfed by how much damage? 11 damage per hit? Is that right? Let's go ahead and jump into our next game. Is that what the damage difference is now? Is 11 per hit? Nine damage at level 11, you think? So you think about that, right? And it's not even necessarily that... It's not even necessarily that the miner would have won the game on its own, but it's that that miner difference would have also potentially made some differences in the choices of Dudu and the choices of Ilion if, you know, there had been an extra, I don't know how many hits there were over the course of that game, but my guess, you know, is that it wasn't that the number of hits total. And I wonder if I could figure out, is there a way to figure out how many times the miner actually hit? I wonder if I can figure that out. Because now I'm really curious about how that miner might have just changed things. Right, here I am looking in the first 10 seconds of that previous game. And I'm going to see a miner go ahead and hit 1, 2, 3 times, right? And 282 divided by 9 is 31.3 hits, so like 32 hits. Right, so in the first few seconds, seen 3 hits already. And I know that this is from the previous game, but this is really interesting. I might make a video on this if this actually if this ends up bearing out, right? When you talk about the difference in what miner does now. So then again, I can go in and see another one where still in the first minute 15, miner gets in and does 1, 2, 3 hits again. I'm going to pause that and pick it up later. So we're at 6 so far. Remind me we're at 6 when we come back. We'll look at that at the break one more time. And I'm surprised Tourist here going with this miner control again. Why are they playing this? And Tourist having to spend a lot here to control, and that Inferno Dragon going to force out so much Elixir, and there's a full Mega Knight on the board, plus a Prince right behind it. And now Inferno Dragon does get Sizzle on the left. Did they, like, not read the balance changes? Did TitanStars just not read what happened? Baby Nate saying this deck is a good counter to most competitive decks, but even with the minor nerf, a minor poison control deck is still a good counter. .25 seconds left. Tourist trying to hold on. Ilion looking better and better. Arrows in. GG, well played. Ilion, 2 up, 2 down. Why are we telling the minor nerf was huge? Well, because I think it was pretty huge. I think the minor nerf was pretty huge. All right, so let's continue. Let's continue with this count from the previous game. And I wonder if I can... Second, folks. I think I might even have... let me connect my iPad while we're waiting for this. I think I can still manipulate stuff. Let me connect my iPad while we're doing this. And we can count these hits. Let me go ahead and turn the iPad on. All right, so we were already at 6 hits here. And I'm going to go ahead and speed up the action a bit. We'll skip, we'll skip, we'll skip. So here comes in another, we're ready for another minor. Not yet, here goes minor. 7, 8, 7 hits. Oh, I guess we're into our next one, hold on. Let me turn that off. Here we go. Pigs go opposite lane. And that's going to be a lot of damage here. And the giant skeleton connects on the right-hand side. That left-hand tower is going to go. Right-hand tower in trouble. And Ilion's going to get good damage here on the right, but it's not going to be enough. So I think we were at 7. Let's keep that count of 7 with those minor hits. I'm curious if it gets to how close it gets to 30 in that game. And even if if the match ends here, we'll go back and keep on looking at that. Flying Machine zappies. And that's, oh, look at that. The little pocket fisherman trying to get the giant the Skeleton King out of the way, I guess. Just disrupt the push. If Will loses this tower, this game does get a lot more interesting. I still don't know if Ilion can hold off against the against pocket pigs. And he certainly is not, he's just not stopping this ghost. Miner needs a few more shots. Arrows will finish, but now Ilion's gonna have to go really low on elixir. And then here, can he defend against the pigs when they come the opposite direction? And Will opting to go pocket with the giant skeleton rather than pigs in that situation. And he might go with them behind here. Doesn't need it. Giant skeleton bomb pops. GG, well played. All right. So we're going to game 5 here in just a moment. Let's go ahead and turn this back on and keep our miner hit count going. So let me go ahead and just rewind that to make sure not that any of those hit from that miner. We were at 7. I love this kind of stuff. No hit, no hit, no hit. So we're still at 7. Let me fast forward to our next miner. All right, let's see. Come on, miner. All right, 1, 2, 3. So now we're at 10. And here comes the next miner. Are we ready? No miner in. He's just not getting miners down very much. Poisons instead. Needs to control the bomb tower, or the mortar. And we're back in the game. All right, here we go. We'll continue that in a minute. Based on tower HP, probably not getting to 30. Yeah, probably not. But the question is, how close would it have gotten, and how might that have changed the spell play of Dudu in that matchup? And Smurfplay with a really good point about people saying, hey, P.E.K.K.A would be great in his MK decks. Yes, but if you don't get the matchup you're looking for with P.E.K.K.A, you basically just put a really weak card in the meta into your deck. So game 5 came all the way down to this. This match looked like it was going to be over early a couple of times. But somehow, and that's kind of what makes Clash Royale great, right? Is just when you think it's done, here we are, going all the way to the very end. And Viper having to deal with dual lane pressure, as always with this deck. And it's not even like there's not even connecting happening on the right-hand side. Good Goblins to control the Bandit up high. Miner goes to the outside. Wallbreaker's going to try to sneak through everything. Musketeer is distracted, and Wallbreaker just barely picked up there by the bomb tower. And Viper's doing a good job of trying to protect these Muskies, but he can't do it for too long. You see right there. Bandit now, and this is basically the story of this deck. You didn't see the wall breakers connect, and Viper has to breathe a sigh of relief there despite being down 3 elixir. But you're spending, this is what this deck does. You spend so much dealing with an MK and a Prince, and then they throw some wall breakers or some miners in there just to mess with you. And then there's just a Bandit in the opposite lane. I think this is the most Bandit deck in the game right now. Because the Bandit is like a little thief in the night, and that's what she does in this deck, is she steals games. She steals your focus, she steals your other tower. There's no deck in the game that's viable and competitive right now that makes Bandit do more of what Bandit, live up to her namesake. And also Bandit is just doing that. Look, she's just playing defense on the right-hand lane. And now Bandit, wall breezies. They're not going to connect. Viper's doing a good job getting drill damage, and he just forced a huge lane shift out of Will. He just forced a massive lane shift out of Will. And Mega Knight doesn't go to the bomb tower because of the Prince push. Or maybe that bomb tower was just out of the way. I don't know. Either way, I have to go back and look at it again. But man, Mega Knight does not go to tower. Inferno Dragon gets on. Sizzle, sizzle, burn. GG, well played. Oh my word. Viper was playing a brilliant game. And then that Mega Knight just ran right through. And that's it. That Mega Knight just went wild. That Mega Knight just went crazy on him. Just went crazy on him. Bandit does Bandit things. Inferno Bandit. And yeah, this Mega Knight deck does look OP because it is. And there you go. There's your results for the day. Shock-13 beating Rising Sun Esports. TitanStars beating French Swat. Now hold on. Let's go ahead and finish this count while we're here. I think we were at 10 before, maybe 11. Let's continue along. All right, 1. All right, now we're at 11 or 12. I think we're at 12 now. 13, 14, 15, 13, 14, 15. Let me slow this back down here for a second. 16. 16. And now let's see. And this is the miner that gets picked up brutally. Yeah, that miner just got stuffed. And I think he gets one more miner hit here, maybe. So I think it was a total of 16 miner hits. It might have been off. 16 times 9, 144 damage. And what did he lose by 280? Did he lose by 282? Did he lose by 282 in the end? Just double check that. I think 282 was the final number. Oh, wait, 16 232. So that would have been 88 HP. Right? So the difference in miner damage would have been 88 HP. And 88 HP, what is that, 2 logs? What's log do now at tournament standard? Man, I used to know all the different spell damages by heart, and then they just changed all of them, but I just never relearned them. Now I just like hold the button when they come out. Log at tournament standard does 58. Didn't they nerf it again though? Yeah, so that's 2 logs. So that's 2 logs or 1 poison. You know what I mean? Like, or with 88 HP, like a couple more minor shots and a log. Right? That's not that much. It's really not that much. So you think about that pre-nerf, it's not like this guarantee that he would have won the game. But in that game, Dudu had Ice Spirit, log, poison. Right? So really, that 80 HP could have been the difference between a loss and a win. So there you go. Hey, C-Dub CR, thanks for the raid on Twitch. We are just reaching the end of the stream, but we'll pass the raid on to somebody else here in just a moment. Yes, I did touch on this, but the psychological impact, right? So the psychological impact of seeing that you're going to be within, like, poison or poison range or 2 logs, like, just gets so... And I don't think people are over-exaggerating. I really don't think people are over-exaggerating the minor nerf. I think minor poison, like, which has been so dominant, is no longer very good. It's fine. It's good. It's no longer great, is the best way to put it. It's no longer, like, absolutely dominant. Thank you, C-Dub. Mwah! Appreciate the love. Hope you had a great stream. Minor poison control is no longer OP. I think it's going to be a fine deck, but not a dominant deck. On the other side of things, the the other Miner decks, I think will still be okay. Right? Decks where Miner's primarily a tank and not as much of a damage dealer, I think those decks will be mostly okay. But Miner Poison Control is just not going to be it anymore. Everybody, this is, let's see. Someone out there speaking out of pocket. That's it for the matches for today. Here is the schedule for this week. Tomorrow we're back, same time, same place. Strangers versus BCN Pro Team. That Strangers roster with Victor, Lost, Kodigo, Hoonloon, Bassotto, and Luminary. BCN Pro Team with Wallace, Igor, if he is now. I think he is in Kazakhstan, so we'll see if that's the case. Samuel Bassotto, and Sandbox, Ian, and winwu. And then the second matchup, OLIMPO Squad versus SKC. OLIMPO Squad with Fram, Enis, Keef, Capgun, Kitassyan, and Miniminter. And that CALALAS team, Dominic, Lucas, Vitor, Ruben, Molite, and Mugi. So that will be tomorrow's matchup. It's pretty fun. If you're watching on YouTube, we'll be back here tomorrow. If you haven't subscribed yet already, go ahead and do so. Make sure you set your notification to that you're back here tomorrow for this one. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. And then if you're on Twitch, hold on for a minute, Twitch. We're going to go find someone cool to raid. But yeah, I appreciate all of you. Nice to be back after taking a couple days break. I'll see you back here mañana for week 2, day 2 of GKR. As always, be excellent to each other. Peace. All right, Twitch, hold on. Here we go. I'm ending my YouTube stream. There we go.